Hello students, I hope you all are doing good. And this video we are going to learn today about an important part of speech that is called pronouns. I hope that you are aware already about that what parts of speech are. Whenever we come across nouns, pronouns, or whenever we are about to study about pronouns, nouns, adverbs, adjectives, the first thing we need to keep in our mind is that it must be very clear to us that what parts of speech are, right? If you're not aware of what parts of speech are, right, you may find or you may come across some difficulties while learning nouns, pronouns and their rules and types, etc. Right? So first of all, we must know that what parts of speech are. Parts of speech, anything that we speak, right? So the parts of that speech is known as parts of speech, right? Now, what these parts of speech are exactly? These parts of speech may be certain words, right, which are actually the smallest unit of a sentence. Now, these words have their own functions or own role to play. This is the first thing we need to keep in our mind. Now, for example, I know that you already know that what are nouns, right? I'll be writing a few sentences here. Please look at the board very carefully, right? So, for example, let's say Peter is an intelligent student, right? And then I continue to talk about Peter, that who Peter is or how Peter is. Then what I say that Peter studies, right, at St. Joseph's Academy or simply St. Joseph's, right? And then what else should I say? Peter scored 99 marks, right? 99 marks out of 100, right? And then let's talk about Peter more, right? Let's say Peter is also an obedient boy, right? So these are the few sentences or some of the information that we wrote about Peter or that we discussed about Peter, that who Peter is, right? Now, let's go through the sentences, right, that who Peter is. So, Peter is an intelligent student. Peter studies at St. Joseph's. Peter scored 99 marks out of 100. Peter is also an obedient boy. So, these are few sentences that we wrote about Peter, okay? Now you see that about how many people are we actually talking about here, right? How many people we are referring to here, or how many people are we actually talking about? So we are talking about just one person, that is Peter. Peter and Peter. That means they're just one person. So if in our context we are referring to one person, a same person, then why should we actually take his or her name again and again, right? That is the question that comes to our mind, that if I talk about Peter or say John or Mary, right, then why should I take the person's name again and again if I'm referring to the same person? It will look very odd if I'm talking to you about Peter and I continue to take his name. So to avoid this repetition, that is to avoid the repetition of noun, right, avoid the repetition of noun, I need some other name or I need a word that should refer to the same person. Do you get it? So I cannot use Peter again and again, but I need to talk about Peter. So how can I talk about Peter without taking his name? That means I need to give Peter another name. That may not be his name actually, but that word should act as a temporary name or that should refer to who Peter is, right? So what I should do, let's omit the name Peter here, right? Let's omit Peter because it looks very awkward, right? Very uncomfortable and very strange to speak Peter again and again. So let's do he, right? He, okay, right? Peter is an intelligent student. Now if I need to talk further about Peter, then I Rather than using the same name Peter, I use the word he. He studies at St. Joseph's. So he here refers to Peter. If I need to talk more, then what can I say? He scored 99 marks out of 100. So similarly, here the word he refers to Peter. In the same way, he is also an obedient boy. So here the word he refers to Peter. So do you get it that what exactly the word he is here? He is acting as a name here. But it is not a name. You can say that it acts as a temporary name. Right? Temporarily, right? That for a moment, as long as I am referring to the same person, as long as I am talking about the same person, right? The word he means Peter. For example, if I change my context and I start talking about Mary, right? So I'll start using the word she for her, right? Mary is an intelligent girl. She studies at St. Joseph's. She is an obedient girl. She scored 99 marks out of 100. So rather than using Mary again, I can use the word she. So as long as I'm talking about Mary, the word she will refer to Mary. It will it will start acting as a temporary name, right? So these are your pronouns. So I hope you understood that what are pronouns, what the function of pronouns are. The first thing we need to keep in mind that pronouns are what? Pronouns are they are as a noun. सबसे पहले ये चीज आपको समझनी है कि pronouns are like nouns. Please remember what I'm saying. Please focus. I'm not saying pronouns are nouns. I'm saying that pronouns are like nouns. What kind of nouns? You can say that they act as temporary names, right? That means for a moment, as long as the context is about the same person. Then why do we use pronouns? That is to avoid the repetition of nouns, right? Avoid the repetition of nouns. Okay? Right. So why do you need to avoid the repetition of nouns? To make your speech seamless, right? And because your speech with the usage of nouns again and again looks very awkward, very strange and uncomfortable, right? So to skip or to avoid, to prevent these factors, we use pronouns, right? We use what? Pronouns. So I hope, student, कि अभी आपको समझ में आ गया है कि what pronouns are. This is the first thing we need to keep in our mind, that what pronouns are. Okay, anything, whenever we study anything, the first thing that is important is learning and understanding, comprehending and discerning the introductory part, that what that topic is about, what that topic actually stands for, right? What is that topic? Okay, now let's start studying about types of pronouns now, right? Types of pronouns. First thing we need to keep in our mind are the persons, right? We talk about persons. So when we study nouns, we usually have first person, second person and then the third person pronoun. So just imagine that there are three friends, right? There are three friends. Okay. Now, let's name this person A and this person B and this person C. Now, A is speaking something, right? He is speaking and this person listens, right? And this person is being talked about. That means he is the subject of conversation. So let's say, let's put it in this way, that person A, right, is speaking, right? Person A is talking to person B and person B is listening. And what person A is talking about or what person B is listening about, okay? Person A is talking about this person, right? And whatever he is talking, person B is listening, right? Listening about it, about whom? About this person, right? That means we can say that this person is the first person. Let's put it as first person because he speaks, right? In the conversation, he'll be held as the first person because he's the one speaking, right? This person, who's the second person actually, right? He is listening. Just assume it like a role, right? For example, whenever a conversation is going to be held, right? So the first person will obviously be the one who is about to speak. The second person will be the one who is about to listen, right? And then the third person may be the one, right, who is actually the subject of conversation, about whom these two persons are actually talking about, right? So this is the first person, that means the speaker, who is speaking, who is talking. The second person is listener, that means who is listening, right? Then the third person is the subject of conversation, about whom these first and second persons are talking, right? So this is your first person, these are your first person, second person and third person. This is the first thing we need to understand, right? Now let's talk about, okay, let me write here for you, for your ease: speaker, listener and the subject of conversation, right? Okay, so this is the thing, the subject of conversation. Now let's understand now the types of pronouns. So far we studied the persons and pronouns. Now let's study types of pronouns. So the first type, the first main type is your personal pronouns. Personal pronouns. Okay, personal pronouns. Under personal pronouns, we study three types of cases. Three cases, right? So the cases are subjective case, second case is objective, next case is possessive. Right? Subjective, objective case. Alright, so these are the cases. Now here we are going to learn about the personal pronouns and how many types of personal pronouns do we have. So let's, now how do we actually study it? How do we learn about it? First of all, we need to understand the persons, first person, second person and third person, which we actually just talked about, right? So we need to first of all make a mention of the first person pronoun, second person pronoun and then the third person pronoun. So I'll divide it, okay, I'll divide it. Now, okay, so in first person pronoun, that means a person who is speaking, who is the speaker. So right now, who is the speaker? I, right? That means I am the one who is actually talking to you. And who will be the second person? You, right? Correct? That means because you people are listening. And who can be a third person? For example, English or pronouns. That is the subject of conversation. But here, person, third person doesn't mean a subject actually, right? It means a person, right? For example, he, she, it, will come to that. So, first person pronoun, that means I who is speaking, right? You need to keep in mind that in pronouns, we also have singular pronouns and plural pronouns, right? Singular, plural pronouns. In English language, we have the number, that means the singularity and the plurality in nouns, pronouns and verbs. So nouns, pronouns and verbs can be singular and plural, right? So subject, subjective, objective and possessive case. So I will be your first person singular pronoun. First person singular pronoun. We will be your first person plural pronoun, right? First person plural pronoun. I means मैं, right? We means hum. So if there are a group of, if there's a group of people of, for example, if we are like more than one person, then I will use we. But if I'm singular, that means as of now, I will use I, right? So this is your subjective case. Now, what do you mean? What do you mean by exactly the subjective case, the objective case, and the possessive case? Right? It is a must to know about it. But let me tell you. Okay, let me tell you right now that what subjective, objective, and possessive case are. See, subjective case. I hope you know that what subject is and what object is and what possessive. The word possessive means, right? Subjective case, subjective and object. For this to be understood, you must be aware of subject and object within a sentence. A subject is a doer of an action and an object is the receiver of an action, right? So if there is a pronoun which is actually what? The doer of an action, you will use the subjective case. But if a pronoun is the object of a sentence, you are going to use objective case. If you need to show possession or ownership or mastership, then you need to use possessive case. We'll go through the examples, don't worry, okay? But अभी इसको आप लोग देखिए. I, we, subjective case. I, singular pronoun, right? Singular first person pronoun. We, singular plural person, plural first person pronoun. Now, let's talk about second person pronoun, right? So in second person pronoun, we have you. Now, singular and plural, right? In singularity and in plurality, we have the same pronoun, right? That is you. Okay, so you remain same, unlike I and we. Be it singular, be it plural, you remain same. Then let's talk about the third person pronoun. So here we have the concept of masculinity and femininity. So we have masculine pronouns and we have feminine pronouns as well. So for males, right, that means for males, for masculine, to show masculine characteristics, or for males, we use the masculine pronoun, that is he. For feminine or for females, we use she, right? And for neuter, right, which is neutral, for non-gender specific things, for example, non-living objects or animals, birds, we use it. Now, these are third person singular pronoun, right? Third person singular pronoun. Now, let's talk about third person plural pronoun. So, third person plural pronoun. For all of these, be it males, be they females or neuter, you use a single pronoun that is called they, right? That is called what? They. है ना? चलिए अब इसके एग्जाम्पल हम देखेंगे. For example, I am a teacher of English, right? Or I am an English language teacher, right? We are a family, right? We are a family. You are English language students. You are English language students. Now, be it a single person sitting in front of me, right? Or be it a whole class standing or sitting in front of me, I'll use just a single pronoun that is called you for both, right? Now, he is an intelligent student. She is a beautiful girl. It is a dog, right? Now, if there is a group, then they are good students. They are beautiful ladies, right? They are dogs. They are pets. Understood, right? So, this is your subjective case. Now, how about if these pronouns happen to be in objective case? If these are our objects, then what do we do? So, let's talk about it. So, for example, I say, let's make a sentence. For example, I say, I speak to you, right? I speak to you, right? Or let's say simply, I talk to you. I speak to you, I talk to you, or I teach you, whatever, right? Okay. Now, if just, for example, if you are in my place or I am in your place, then the case will reverse. Then what? You are going to tell me that you speak to me, right? Do you get it? You speak to me. If I am a person who speaks to you, then I say that I speak to you. But if you are the person who is actually speaking to me, then what do you say? That you are speaking to me. I should say this, that you are speaking to me. So I changes to me, because in this sentence I, right, in the later sentence, that is, you speak to me. I am not the doer of the action speaking. You are the doer of action and I am the receiver, that means the object. Hence, I need to use the pronoun in objective case. Hence, instead of I use me. Then, for example, if I say we teach you, right? Then if you teach us, then what should I say? You teach us. So we changes into us. We changes to us. Then you remain same, right? I teach you, right? And you can say that you teach, then that we teach you. So you remain same. So you doesn't change. Then he teaches me, I teach him, so he changes to him. In the same way, she teaches me, I teach her, right? You know? I like it likes me, I like it likes me, so it remains same. It won't change. So please note that you and it do not change, they remain same. Then they changes to them, right? They talk to me, I talk to them. So please note, this is subject to the change in subject and object, the position, right? Alright, now students, let's talk about now possessive case. So I hope till now you have understood and you have comprehended the subjective and the objective case, that what subjective and objective cases, right? What subjective and objective cases, that when do you actually have to use the subjective case and when do you have to use the objective case. In case the pronouns are in subject, or they are the subject of the sentence, or they are the doer of the sentence, then you have to use the subjective case. If the pronoun is the object of the sentence, or if it is the receiver of action, then you have to use the objective case. Now let's talk about the possessive case. When do you use possessive case? So in cases of ownership, when I need to tell, or when I need to tell something that something belongs to me, or I am a master of something, I am an owner of something, then I use the possessive case. Did you get it? For example, this is whose class, or this is whose session, this is my session, right? This is my session. Or I can say this session is mine, right? This session is mine. For example, you submit me your notebooks, you submit me your assignments, right? Now I received assignments of 10 students. Out of them, I take one assignment. Now what do I ask? Whose assignment is this? Now you will answer that it is my assignment, or it is his assignment, or it is her assignment. Now if you have a dog that gives assignment, then you will say it is its assignment, right? So, or if I take 2 or 3 assignments and I ask whose assignments are these, then you say it is our assignments if it belongs to your friends, or you say it is their assignments if it belongs to a group of people, right? So these words like their, our, his, her, these pronouns show the state of possession or ownership. So these are called possessive pronouns, so possessive case pronouns, right? So let's talk about the first person singular pronoun, right? In possessive case, it is me or mine, right? Me or mine. I'm sorry, not me, mine. Apologize for that. Okay, it is my and mine, right? So if I need to say that this is my session, right, I'm going to use my, or I can say this session is mine, right? Then first person plural pronoun. If there is a group of people, or if there are like 2 persons or more than 2, then what do I say? Our, right, or ours. Our or ours. This is our class. This class is ours. Do you get the difference in the usage of ours and our, or mine and mine, right? How, what is, the grammatical structure for this, right? When do I use mine and ours, right? Mine and ours, right? These are used independently, right? Now, just to like inform you, my, our, these are also your possessive adjectives, right? These also fall under your possessive adjectives, but we are going to talk about it later. Then what is exactly the difference between possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns, right? But first of all, let's be clear about possessive pronouns. Then you. So again the same question. Whose assignment is this? So you will say, and I can also ask you, is this dash assignment? Try to complete this sentence. That means, is this? Yes, your assignment. Right? Or I can say, Is this assignment, right? Yours. Yours. So please note, there are two ways to say my, mine, our, ours, your, yours. Now we come to the third person pronoun. So, is this dash assignment, third person, singular, his, for males. For females, her. Now, in the feminine pronoun, that is her, you have two ways again. You could either say her or hers, right? Her or hers. Then, if there is a group of people, first of all, let's talk about neuter as well, right? So, neuter, it's, right? It's. Next, let's talk about the third person plural pronoun. You have their. And again, you have two ways to say theirs, right? Their and theirs. So, these are your possessive pronouns. Now, the first thing you need to keep in your mind is this, that you will never use an apostrophe sign with S here before S. Please note that what is the usage of using apostrophe S? We use apostrophe S in noun to make it a possessive case, right? So, for example, if there is Peter, if I need to make Peter a possessive case, I add an apostrophe S after Peter, that is Peter's, John's, Mary's, right, etc. So, right, this is the usage of using the apostrophe S. But you look at these possessive case, I'm teaching you possessive case pronouns. That means these by default are like this, right? यहाँ पर जो S लगे हैं ये by default है, ये possessive ऐड करने के लिए या possessive इनको बनाने के लिए नहीं यूज हुआ है कि हम अलग से apostrophe S लगा रहे हैं, right? ये by default इसमें S लगा है, तो ये by default क्या है? Possessive case में है. Hence इनको आपको additionally apostrophe sign लगाने की जरूरत आपको नहीं है. अपॉस्ट्रफी साइन लगा करके आपको इनको पॉजिटिव नहीं बनाना है, बिकॉज दिस इज ऑलरेडी पॉजिटिव केस. प्लीज रिमेंबर, कई लोग क्या करते हैं, कई स्टूडेंट्स क्या करते हैं, दे मेक अ मिस्टेक व्हाइल राइटिंग लेटर के लास्ट में हमेशा आता है ना योर्स अफेक्शनेटली, योर्स कविंगली, योर्स सिंसियरली. सो व्हाट डू दे add that apostrophe sign with yours, before S. That you do not have to do. That is wrong. And also keep it in mind, this it can be written, if you see this word it's, this is a contraction for it is, right? This is a contraction for it is. It is not the possessive third person pronoun, it's, right? There is a difference between this is your pronoun, right? It's, while this is a contraction for it is. Contraction means a form to write something in short, right? Replacing it with an apostrophe, right? So that is its and its. There is a difference between this. If you write like this means this no more remains the possessive pronoun, right? It becomes the contraction for it is. So this is the thing that you need to keep in mind, right? So in this, till now, right, till this point we have understood that what pronouns are. I hope you did. If you have not, you can pause the video and you can start watching the video again, right, from zero, right? And please try to understand that what pronouns are. And also then I told you about subjective case pronoun, personal pronouns. This is the first type of pronoun, personal pronouns. Under this we see three cases. The subjective case, that is when the pronouns are the subject of a sentence, or when those are the doer of a sentence. Then objective case, when the pronouns are the object of a sentence, or when they are used or when they are the receiver of an action. Then possessive case, so whenever there is a state of possession, or whenever someone wants to show a possession or an ownership, then you use the possessive case. Okay. Then what were the key points I told you? That to please take care of that, not to add apostrophe sign here, because these by default have S with them. We are not using an additional apostrophe S with these, right? And also the another thing is about this, it apostrophe S is a contraction for it is, not the possessive pronoun, right? Okay. Now I need to tell you now two more things that you need to keep in your mind. That is, what is the difference between my and mine? our and ours, right? And what are possessive adjectives and what are possessive pronouns? So let's have a new page, right? And let's see that what is the difference. Okay, so let's talk about the difference between my and mine, right? Let's talk about the position first of all, right? The grammatical use, that how do we use them? See, both are pronouns, right? Right now just forget about possessive adjectives, right? Just keep in mind pronouns, because our main topic is pronouns actually. So my and mine. So look at the two sentences that I'm going to write. For example, this is my shirt. This is the first sentence that I wrote. Now let's see the second sentence. This shirt is mine, right? Now in the place of my, you can place anything. You can place your, you can place our, like her, their, okay, our, anything, right? So this is my shirt. Now please note, we will see two important or keywords: my shirt, right? Shirt, mine. So shirt is your noun, my is your pronoun, right? Mine again is your pronoun and shirt is your noun. So just please look at the position actually, look at the position, right? How we have actually positioned the nouns, the pronouns here. Look at the first sentence. This is my shirt. Here what you have actually pronoun plus noun, right? Okay. Here in this sentence, this pronoun has the noun after that, right? Or you can say that the pronoun is used before the noun. But here in this case, you have the opposite case. Here you have noun plus pronoun. So you have the pronoun actually located after the noun, shirt, mine, right? So if you see, this acts independently, right? This acts independently. Now in place of my, you can also say this is your shirt, this shirt is yours, this is our shirt, this shirt is ours, this is her shirt, this shirt is hers, this is their shirt, this shirt is theirs, for example, right? Okay, that's all. So this is your way. How do we use them? Okay, this is the structure actually, this is the position. How do we place it, right? Okay, now please note the difference between, now let's talk about the possessive adjective and possessive pronouns, right? That what is the difference? See, if I just omit the word shirt here, right? Okay. So look at this. This is my what? I can ask a question that this is my what, right? The word my is incomplete here, or this sentence is incomplete. This word my requires an object here, right? It requires a noun here, it requires an object. Then only the sentence can be completed, right? That this is my what? Shirt, pen, book, school, class, XYZ, right? But here you look at the last part, is mine, right? You don't have any object after this, right? You don't have any object after this. So this shirt is mine. The sentence is complete. You are actually placing the object, the subject actually after that, right? Because here it will be your object, right? This shirt, right, is what? Mine. So this is the difference between possessive adjective and your possessive pronouns. First of all, you must understand that till now, whatever we studied, those were your possessive pronouns. Now, what are possessive adjectives? Your possessive adjectives are my, her, your, our, right? And her, his, and its. So these are your possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives, right? These are your what? Possessive adjectives. Okay. Now, first of all, you need to understand, and I hope you are aware of, that one word cannot be just limited to one part of speech, right? If you have a word that is a verb, it cannot be just a verb. It can be a noun as well. It can be a preposition as well. It can be an adverb or an adjective as well, right? English language is vast. So you have to be aware of this. Then only, and acknowledge this, then only you will understand this concept, right? So here, these words are your possessive pronouns, but these words are also your possessive adjectives, right? These are generally considered your possessive adjectives. Why? Because after this, there is a need of an object, there is a need of a noun, because these words qualify or describe the nouns, right? So if I say this is my, let's say, car. So car, this my describes the noun car, and the words which describe car, which describe nouns, are your adjectives. So hence my can also be called your possessive adjective. Do you get it? Right? So in the same way, this is my car, this is our house, this is her shirt, this is your shirt, this is his book, this is its tail, pooch. Because we are talking an animal here, for example. So these are the words which must be accompanied by nouns, and hence these are your possessive adjectives, because these describe a noun, right? And these are dependent on objects, nouns after this. But cases like this, for example, mine, ours, yours, hers, theirs, his, right? These these are actually independent. They do not need any object after this, right? I can simply say this shirt is mine. You don't need anything after that, right? So possessive pronouns can exist independently. They function independently. Why possessive adjectives? They are dependent on nouns after this. Okay? So I hope you understood what is the difference between possessive adjective and possessive pronouns. So students, till now in this video, right, I have now completed this session. Now I'll just provide you a summary that what all we discussed in this video. At first, I introduced to you that what pronouns are, right? What pronouns are? Pronouns are the words which act like nouns, because you can say that pronouns are temporary names of a person. As long as we refer to a particular person, right, or any subject, right? So to avoid the repetition of its name, its proper name, we use a temporary name, right? To avoid the repetition, to avoid the awkwardness of the situation, we give the person a specific word, a specific name, and those are called your pronouns. And why do we use pronouns? That we discussed, that is to avoid the repetition of nouns, right? Because a lot of factors, because it doesn't sound comfortable to listen to a name again and again. Then after that, we discussed about types of nouns. So the first type that we learned today was your personal pronouns. Under your personal pronouns, we studied three cases. That is the subjective case. That means if a pronoun is in the subject possession, or if it is the doer of an action, then you use subjective case. Objective case, if the pronoun is the object of a sentence, right, or if it is the receiver of an action, we use the objective case. And if we want to show possession, right, towards an object, right, or an ownership, then we use the possessive case, right. So, and also before that, right, at first we talked about the person. This is must. Before going through, going to types of nouns, this is must. The first person, second person, third person. First person being the speaker, second person listener, and then the third person the subject of the conversation. Then here were the subjective case, objective case, and possessive case. Feminine, okay, masculine, singular, plural, we have to take care of. Gender and number as well. Singularity, plurality, femininity, and masculinity. Then we talked about the possession, right? Possession of the possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns, right? So we also discussed that what is the difference between possessive adjective and possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns can act independently, they can exist independently, but possessive adjectives are accompanied by nouns because they must describe nouns, then only we can call them adjectives, right? And what are the possession? Okay, we use the possessive adjective before the noun, right? And we use the possessive pronoun after the noun. So thank you so much, students. If you like this video, you can hit the like button. Thank you so much, and we'll meet in the next video. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.